Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Share webinar. My name is Maggie, and I'm the marketing manager for eviivo North America. And with the help from our industry expert, today we're going to look at the importance of building your brand, creating a broader network, learning how to tell your story, and gaining media coverage. And today I'm joined by Mike Wyman, the General Manager and VP of Sales and Operations for eviivo North America, and Brian Gates, owner of the Spicer Mansion and founder of Bookwell Travel. As always, if you have any ideas or questions, please drop them in the chat at the bottom of your screen. This is supposed to be an open conversation, and we would always love your input. So we'll be monitoring all of your outreach and addressing them throughout the presentation. Mike, it's all yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Maggie. I'm pretty excited about our guest today. Brian Gates is the founder of Bookwell Travel and also the owner of Spicer Mansion in Connecticut. Brian and I have known each other less than a year, but I find him to be one of the most dynamic and charismatic people I've ever met. And I believe by the end of this conversation today, many of you will think the same thing. Brian, before we get started, I don't want to steal your thunder, but today we're going to be talking about how people can use positive publicity to promote their property. And you've obviously done that across a number of different businesses. So I think it would be good for us to start with you telling us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you're at today.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for everybody joining. And Michael, thanks for that intro. Yes, we've known each other for less than a year, but you're like my twin brother, even though you're 6'4" and I'm 5'4". And Maggie, it's always my pleasure to see you all the time. Right? No, but let you know is basically I'm a third generation dairy farmer from Northeast Connecticut, Putnam, Connecticut. And as you know, being a farmer, we got out of the farming business back in 1983. Then we went to car dealerships. But as you know, the old traditional farmers, if somebody needed help in need, the farmers always jumped in and helped out. Always. So if your barn for some reason burnt, everybody came in and rebuilt them. If they couldn't farm their crops, everybody helped out. And everybody needs a helping hand all the time. They didn't charge them for it. It was always the community effort. So on that note, got married at a very, very, very young age. Got married and was 18 years old to a Swedish exchange student that was in my high school, my senior. And it didn't go out with her at all until May because I needed her to help me with my exam to pass history class for I can graduate from school. And at that time, I was selling cars at a local car dealership, myself and my brother, at Cargo Chevrolet in Putnam, Connecticut, because my father sort of like just not disappeared, but he had different problems. So my brother and myself were helping out my mom and my two sisters raising them. So on that note, got married at a very young age, and my wife opened up 2 travel agencies.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
She opened up 2 travel agencies, and then we were having the dealerships. So on that note, then as things went on, from the dealerships until then we bought a Spicer Mansion, which was a hotel. It was a condemned apartment complex that we went in and totally refurbished it and made it into an 8-room, really boutique hotel in downtown Mystic, Connecticut. And that's where we started in the hospitality and the restaurant business. And that's in the short run, that's what we've been doing.
Right around the corner from Mystic Pizza, right?
Exactly.
Mike's been there. I've been there. It's a beautiful property. It's a mid-19th century build that you did a wonderful job. Obviously, the thing is, from going from car dealerships to hospitality, what are the things that you used in learning how to run a short-term rental that you learned from your previous businesses? What are some of the things that you want to make sure that you do?
Yeah, but the biggest thing is, hospitality, you think about it, it's in every business. I don't care if you have a dentist, if you have a restaurant, if you have a travel agency, if you have a real estate company. Hospitality is the word definition of hospitality is just not somebody staying there. In the car business, is that if you're not really look to people in the eye and helping out with their needs and find their needs for their vehicle, and you're just rude, they're not going to buy the vehicle from you. You think about it, the car business is the most competitive business in the world. You got exactly 90 seconds for that young lady or young male or a couple coming in to suit their needs and not win them over, okay, but taking accomplish their needs. And you can't do it if you're rude.
Sure.
So basically I took, and then also too, the marketing, then also even the car dealerships, even my wife's travel agencies, it's all about community service. It starts from there. And that starts from my farming days, my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my father, at that time, where we're taking, this is what you do, to the other people that are around you, the other farmers. Being cordial, being nice, but also serve your community. You think about it, during this COVID time, a lot of communities have put up these signs, community strong, community strong, community strong. I always joke around when I'm going through our town in Mystic, oh yeah, what is really community strong? If you go back to all the hospitality, like everybody who has your hotel that you have right now, your mansion you have right now, everything that we're going after on our platform, you think about it, all these places have a story. Like at Spicer Mansion, it was owned by one of the most prolific sea captains. So everybody has a story in their own property. And we've taken Spicer Mansion with Captain Spicer, who was one of the most prolific sea captains. He was community strong. He gave away 25% of his goods he has given. He gave to the community all the time. So in our hotel, when we're there, we always 15, 20, 25%, we give back to the community. And to answer the question a long about way is that the community service, right, and giving back has always stuck in my mind since I've been a small child, right down to all the business.
We're going to talk a little bit more about how you've taken the philanthropic and community focused efforts to the next level. And I promise you folks, it's a very interesting story. But let's get back to the marketing side. There's a story of how you kind of got first involved in your community or first noticed by the media when you were in the car dealership that I think resonates that people can do in their property management and property ownership. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that story?
Oh, yeah, that was a great story. Well, it wasn't a story. It was remember, everybody out there, depends how old you are. Okay, everybody remembers in 9999, Y2K, the computer system's going to fail. Take your money out of the bank, sell all your stocks because the whole world's going to come to the end because the computers weren't geared up. So we had a Mitsubishi dealership, and I went ahead and thought I had ordered 100 Mitsubishis, but I'm very computer literate, still to this day. And I ended up taking and ordering 1,000 Mitsubishis. All right, and I ordered them all white. Okay, well, there's red, white, and blue, right? And all stick shifts, and all for $9,999. So all of a sudden, they all start arriving. And I said, "Oh my Lord!" So we called Fox News, and we told them our dilemma. So all of a sudden, the Fox News comes down, and they asked me, the outside interviewing me. They said, "What are you gonna do with these things?" Well, I said, "Well, I gotta sell them." And I said, "I'm going to sell them all on $9,999, okay, for $99 down, okay, for $9,999, and for $99 a month." So put it out there, and he put it out there on the news that night. Well, the following morning, I usually get to work around 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. Our maintenance manager calls me. He gets there early. He said, "Brian, you got to get down here right away." I said, "What's wrong?" He says, there's media trucks lined up down the street. So I got there and I arrived there. Well, I called them. My sales department was there. We had 40 salespeople at that time. And we sold 750 Mitsubishis, okay, within 5 days. And we became the largest selling Mitsubishi dealership in the world, right, for 10 years running. And it was off of that, dilemma that was supposedly everything in the world's coming to an end. So I've always used that. I've had that knack on seeing into the future and taking something that's bad and this is a huge problem and put everybody in a panic mode on something that's really, hey, good, let's make this good then, And
We've all just been through something like that, right? The pandemic, you pivoted, which I think is a very pivotal word, with running a short-term rental hospitality place. You also mentioned how that media coverage kind of helped you in the community. How did you parlay that into when you first bought Spicer Mansion? Talk about maybe your members club or anything like that you think would be helpful for folks as a property owner and manager.
Yeah, it's probably we started we want to say our mansion's private, but it's not private. We have very elegant dining. Our rooms are very elegant. And we started an owners club member. And they buy in into a membership. It's $500. We got 450 members from all around the world. And it's $500 a year. It's really minimum. But they're all on the same wavelength as myself, too, as far as philanthropic, really, really great people. And we got 450 members. And we could grow it, to thousands and thousands of members. And that's one of the things that, as we go along, that we're gonna grow our membership throughout all our hotel contingencies on our platform, to everybody. For that, if there's a member from Spicer Mansion and they're in Georgia, and one of our hotels are on our they can go there. They'll have a membership card and have the same treatment as they would at Spicer Mansion. And then we can grow our membership upon all the hotels. And they're very, and a lot of the members have come in with me on this new, on Bookwell Travel, because they're very, very about giving back too. And that's, we have some of our members out there, some of the names I can't say, right? But we have Hollywood people, we have actors, but also too, most of our membership is driven upon ordinary people. And the good news is 70% of our members are Generation Z and Millennials. Because of my fact finding, the Millennials and the Generation Z, they're more about experience. They want to stay at these boutique hotels that are going to be on our platform. They want to stay they don't want to stay at the big high-rise hotels and motels, which a lot of people don't want to right now, but even back before. They want the experience. And they're the most, on all our fact finding about like Bookwell Travel, well, even before Bookwell Travel, all our fact findings is that they're experience driven, but also too, they are the most giving back people in the world. They'll buy a pair of Tommy sandals, Tom shoes. They'll buy them for $55. They know a pair is going to somebody else in need.
It's just Tom's shoes now, huh?
Is it Tom?
Right. Your close buddy Tom, who's even taller than I am, by the way. So let's talk about how you kind of parlayed what you learned and used in running Spicer Mansion, and why you opened Bookwell Travel as part of this, because I think, again, we can take that back to the property owners and how they can use that philanthropic message.
Right.
So tell us a little bit. Go ahead.
What
Maggie?
Does the membership include? The $500, what's that purchase?
Yeah, it includes was a $200 membership fee.
Uh-huh.
They get a $200 Baccarat glass with their special code on it, right? And then they get $100 credit towards food and beverage. And another great news on that, Maggie, is that right now, our occupancy, okay, even during COVID and during these times, and let's take February, for example, okay, we have 256 room nights available for the whole month. We've done 165 rooms for the month of February so far, okay? 65% of our business is from our owner club members coming in and staying or sending one of their friends. So it's been a a huge boost to our
So
revenue.
repeat business, it makes it big. Got it.
Huge.
Great. Thank you.
You know, while we're pausing there, why don't we take the question that was mailed in before we got started from Kristen in New Mexico? I think it's an interesting question. She says, is it advisable to advertise any awards you've received from Expedia or local communities on your website?
Oh, most definitely. You want to put that out. And I always suggest, which we do, when we get a certain award, right away, we put it on our website. We put it out there on our Facebook, but also too, we send it to all our email database, and it goes out instantaneously right away. We're always ahead of the curve, and you post it at the front desk, and you have it out there when your people are checking in. You can reinsure them who you are, and most definitely.
So you started Spicer Mansion several years ago. What made you start Bookwell Travel last year?
What made it? It's very simple. When the whole government shut everybody down, 2 days after we shut down, Regina Davis from the No Ank Homeless Shelter for young adults called me, and he said, Brian, we're almost out of food here. Can you do anything? We always do a lot of donations and a lot of food drop-offs. She has 22 young adults there. And I said, well, Regina, I just furloughed everybody, right? And she says, is there anything you can do at all? I said, you know something? Let me call my chef, one of my chefs back, some of my servers back. I'm going to cook. I'll cook 2 days worth of food for you. She said, great. So we cooked the food. I brought it to her mission, and I started talking to these young kids to get them excited that, hey, things can get better for you. This little girl stuck in my mind. Her name was Sophia. I said, tell me a story. She was 15 years old. Her father was in one homeless shelter in New London. Her mother was in another homeless shelter in Groton. And then she was in this homeless shelter in No Ank. And I said to Regina, I said, this can't be true. And she thanked me for the food. So I committed to them that, you know something, right? I am going to take and feed them for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it takes. Well, on that note, so I called my people back. We start doing it. A local paper came and did an interview with me. And they asked Regina what was going on. They heard about, and I just said to the paper, it's the right thing to do. Well, another journalist got a hold of it that really particularly doesn't like good work people do. And he kind of made the article that this was bad, what I was doing. Well, my Irish temper got up, to be perfectly frank with you. I went to the news station, sat down with all of them, and I told the guy basically, you know something, it doesn't look like to me you've gone without a meal your entire life. And how dare you say that about somebody who's feeding the hungry? So I left there and I vowed to him that I am going to open something up, a charity, something that's going to feed everybody in the United States. So that was the birth of Bookwell Travel. And we went to work, and it's very simple. All the hotels that are on our Bookwell Travel, every night that gets booked on Bookwell Travel, we give 20 meals, okay, to the less fortunate in that hotel or area. And the hotels that the recipient who goes ahead and buys, the guest rooms for 2 nights, say if they go to Spicer Mansion or they go to the hotel in New Mexico, right? Well, the guest gets notified by the hotel and us, thanking them for the 2-night stay. The hotel gets a phone call from us and tell them about the reservation coming in, right? And then the food bank in that town or that state, the food goes there in the honor of the hotel and the guest. And that's what we put together. And the rest is history. It's just, we're nationally getting out there. Mike, you were on the food drive, and we put the cause first. Everybody out there, we've been delivering the food ahead of time before we've even taken reservations, because we want the cause to be first, and the reservations will come second, because we want to get everybody, all the hotels, hospitality and in hunger, from Maggie, okay, and that's how we started it. And
So, yeah, and folks, he's right. They have put it first. Before this weekend, which you're going to add some more, how many meals have you delivered to various food banks on the Eastern Seaboard over the last couple months?
Over 350,000 now.
Amazing. So how has that helped your business, Bookwell Travel, get started? And how has it helped? I mean, tell me about why you're there in Georgia right now, and what you're planning to do there, and to kind of demonstrate that.
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, Fox 54 3 weeks ago put a post on our Facebook, and they said, "Congratulations, Bookwell Travel," and gave us a thumbs up on one of the food banks that we did in Connecticut. I called down to Georgia to find a food bank that fits our criterias, and I found one, and I called them, and 2 days later, a gentleman, Carl Gilead, gave me a call, and he says, "I didn't get your message. You want to, from Bookwell Travel, you want to bring 50,000 meals down to us?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Is this true?" I said, "Of course it is. We've been going around." So he went online, he looked up Bookwell Travel, looked at our Facebook, and he says, "We're elated. Can't believe it." So we get everything all set up, and I said, "I'm coming down." He said, "When are you going to come down?" I said, "Right away," you know? And so we made the arrangements, and we're bringing all the food on the 27th. But then all of a sudden, he says, "Well, I'll let you know, I'm Carl Gilead. I'm the founder and CEO of Feeding the Hunger," right? It's his philanthropy, his mission. And he says, 2010, I was in line for food, right? Because of my family situation. Well, Carl is a Georgia state representative, right? Georgia, to let you know, this is the biggest food donation that Georgia has ever received. And they have rolled out the carpet, and we're putting, Bookwell Travel is going to be all over national news now, and about the cause. But to let everybody know out there, it's not all about Brian Gates and Bookwell Travel, okay? It's about hospitality and then hunger. And we are really serious about that. All of us together, all the hotels that are on Bookwell Travel, okay? Not Bookwell Travel is going to, so if there's 3,000 hotels that are on a platform in Georgia, or 10,000, whatever it is, when everybody goes to book, that food is going to be going and feeding the less fortunate. And we've had today so far interviews on Fox 28. There's going to be live radio modes going on at the finish line, because I run for 12 hours to go to the food bank. I start at 12:01 in the morning, and I'm there by noontime. And the philosophy there is, I want to feel like those people out there who cannot eat for 12 hours. And we added a human element into it. And that's where we're getting a lot of national press, because when people say, "Oh, come on, how can you possibly do that?" Well, anything's possible, like the Iron Man video, which everybody suggested everybody should watch. And it's not just us. It's Bookwell Travel. It's eviivo. It's hospitality and in hunger, and it's every one of our hotel partners.
Well, let's talk about some of the sponsors and partners that you were able to corral for this, because this isn't, as you said, just a Brian Gates thing. It's become kind of a movement. How did you take what started out with Brian Gates and really kind of grow it? Who are some of the folks that you reached out to? You don't need to drop names, but it's more a case of what your thinking was, why you reached out to them to help your business. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of helpful part of it.
Yeah, what we do is like we have Illy Coffee, we have Saratoga Springs Water, we got
Or
ShopRite.
drop names.
We just got Gooseneck Wines, which is all around the whole East Coast. We've got a Saratoga Springs Water, I said, ShopRite. We just got a deal with Aldi's, and we don't want money from them. What we want from them is that they're gonna once a month, okay, they're gonna promote Bookwell Travel to all their workers, to all their stores, and to all their whole email base. And they're gonna send out the philanthropy, okay, about why to go to Bookwell Travel, okay, together, the word together, feeding the less fortunate. And and I had 3 more people call in today, big time companies. I'm working with Chevy, Ford, all of them, and not asking for donations. We don't want money from them. We want them to give people, all their workers and everybody throughout the whole country, right, to go to Bookwell Travel.
So it was more about getting the brand out there and getting the movement out there than it was about bartering money for product or vice versa.
Right.
So
yeah, we don't want that.
Talk about how you actually intertwine the two businesses, Bookwell with Spicer Mansion, and how you kind of do the same thing you were just talking about, just on a smaller scale.
Yeah, well, having different the biggest thing is like with Spicer Mansion is that we have a lot of charities, but our customer service at Spicer Mansion, we intertwine that into our hotel partners that we'll be bringing along, and what we have a lot of the major vendors, they're owner club members. They own a lot of these big companies, right? So we intertwine with those people to get them involved, and they're on the same wavelength as myself. Is that the feeding the less fortunate is huge, and that's going to drive traffic to Bookwell Travel, drive traffic to everybody's hotels, and also the PR. That's the biggest thing. All the hotels that could be on Bookwell Travel's website, we're not an OTA. Yeah, we are an OTA, but we're not an OTA. Like the chicken and what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? We're really a travel agency, old-fashioned, that we're going to talk to, with modern technology, right? And we're going to talk to you on the phone. We're going to talk to those guests that are coming to your hotel, and they're going to know already that you're participating in Together Feeding the Less Fortunate. And there's a lot of companies right now that are coming to us right now, especially after this Georgia thing. So we are developing like a culture. And that's the whole thing. Any business has a culture. And Bookwell Travel is going to be a culture. And we're going to get all this negative press, okay? It's going to be all positive reinforcement. Every person I talk to, no matter what state we're in, no matter what food bank we're in, no matter what company, you think about it. I'm dealing with a lot of these big time companies, and like I'm dealing with Harley Davidson right now, right? On getting them to breed into it. And it's kind of a thing where I don't stop until I talk to the main person. Okay, I want the answer, and you say, listen, well, I guess your company doesn't really care about feeding the less fortunate. I've had one company that say to me, no, so, and we're going to build the best culture, because as you know, when you're dealing with these other OTAs, they send you the booking, that's it, and they collect your commission from you. That's it.
Well, I think what you're trying to say is that, everybody is embracing the mission, and that's helping the business, which is really what you want to do, no matter what business you're in, is really make the mission something that you can get everybody passionate about, whether they're employees, customers, partners, etc., and get them all coalescing around that mission. It's a very admirable mission that you've implemented. And without a doubt, it's also one that you can get a lot of people behind, because people are going to travel again. People are going to be booking at higher levels again, and they might as well be doing the right thing while they're doing it. So I think it's been great talking to you, Brian. Do we have any other questions that have come in, Maggie?
No, but we just hit the 30-minute marker, and I just wanted to quickly recap kind of what I've learned so far. And the first is always make lemons out of lemonade. It sounds like Brian's always really positive, and things don't really hold him back. So getting PR,
You think?
to run into a lot of no's, and you can't let that deter you. The second thing that I've been taking away from this is that find something that really resonates with you, because when it resonates with you, it can resonate with other people.
Be passionate.
And the third thing that I've taken away so far is that think of creative solutions for how to network and build partnerships. Not everything has to be kind of as cut and dry as like buying publicity or paying for placements. It can be a give and take and making sure that you can share resources. So non-competitive resources, sharing an audience, and then building your brand from there.
Very good.
Awesome.
Okay, so
You must be in marketing.
and then I just want to make sure that it's very clear and that we're able to kind of concisely say exactly what people should be doing. Because when you were talking about all of the extensive list of partners that you've been able to build, it sounds like you've been building a really strong team that fills in gaps that you weren't filling or that you were looking to fill in other people or companies, right?
Awesome.
Everyone's looking for other promoters.
I think she's got it well summarized there. Brian, any last comments that you would like to make sure that everybody understands about
No, just everybody stay safe. Everybody spread the word, and all of us together, we're going to feed the less fortunate.
Great.
And then once you have your story, sorry, I'm just going to keep going here. Once you have your story, it's important that you're your number one advocate. Brian is always his number one advocate in every occasion. And so it's important that you be the driving force behind your PR coverage, behind telling your story, and then sharing it, and then garnering all of those relationships.
Excellent.
So Brian, is there any secret to succeeding in PR?
No, it's just, I suggest everybody go right away and watch the video. Iron Man video. Anything's possible. Please do yourself a favor and watch it. Watch it every day, 2-3 times a day. And honestly, folks, anything's possible.
That's great. Does anybody have any final questions? We'll give you just a second, and then we've also gone on Facebook Live. It's a first. Okay, that's it for questions. So thank you all for attending. And then Brian, I think, Mike.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
It's always.
Brian, yes, and enjoy your 50-mile run on Saturday in Savannah.
I'll be thinking of you, Mike.
All righty. Take care, my friend.
Everybody for attending.
Bye, Maggie.
Bye.
Bye, all.
Bye.